These results are insane. 6 months ago, I underwent a hair transplant surgery with Utah Facial Plastics. I was honestly skeptical about having good results going in, not because I doubted my surgeons, but because of how thin my hair was. I couldn't fathom having a thick, full head of hair again. During the type of hair transplant procedure that I had, hair was very carefully removed surgically from the back of my head, removing individual follicles with a tiny patch of skin one by one, instead of cutting an entire strip of skin from the back of my head, which is also a common procedure. What I love about the FUE style of transplant that I had is because the follicles were removed individually, there's basically no noticeable scarring on the back of my head. This is great for me because I like to keep my hair faded pretty short, and if I would have used the FUT or strip transplant method, I would have had a long noticeable scar along the back of my neck. Once the follicles were removed, 1,300 individual surgical sites were made, like little pinpricks over the top of my head, and then a team of technicians individually transplanted every single one of those follicles into those holes. It's really an incredible process because they were able to take a look at which areas of my scalp were thinning the most, and then gradually spread the follicles out from those areas, resulting in the nice, clean, natural, even looking hair that I have now. After only 6 months, I'm already blown away at these results.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. You feel like things are coming along?
It feels great. Before, there was an area in the center that was like significantly light, like there was no hair growing there.
At this point, at like the 3 to 4 month mark, you start to see short growth coming in. Lighter areas start to get a little darker. This is like way early. I mean, you're gonna get way more out of this.
Oh, really?
So yeah, by the time you hit like 6 to 8 months, then you're really starting to get excited. But we don't even like decide how we feel about it until you're a full year out.
Oh, okay.
If you've got 4 hairs growing next to each other, some of them are growing, some of them are in the plateau phase, some of them are about to shed, and some of them have already shed. And they come in at different times too. It takes a long time for the majority of them to be synced up to where they're all long at the same time. They shed at like 2 or 3 weeks and you're kind of like freaking out.
Yeah.
And then like 2 or 3 months rolls around and you're like, all right, I think there's something there.
That's good to know because it does seem like even from a distance, like the hairline seems a little more prominent already.
Yeah.
I'm just not seeing like the white patch like I was. So if it gets even better than that, then that's great. Why does it take so long for those hairs to come in?
When you take a follicle from the back and put it to the front, it resets it. And they shed the hair, but the bulb, the root of it is left under the skin. I don't know that we can predict which ones are gonna wake up when, but some of them take a couple of months. You know, this one starts at 2 months, this one starts at 8 months. You don't actually see the 8-month growth until month 9 or 10. Can I look in the back here?
Yeah.
Take a tour of everything?
Yeah, and I haven't looked in the back for a long time, so I don't even know how it's looking back there, but it feels great.
It looks good. I mean, I can see on close inspection because I know what to look for, but I doubt anybody else is going to be able to see. And you're wearing a really high fade. There's still just a little bit of redness in the scalp, which is normal, and that continues to go down over time.
Okay.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it. So as you might have sensed, I was still a little bit skeptical at that point, and that's on me because the doctors told me clearly multiple times that it can take over a year to get the full results after a hair transplant surgery. Now in this next video, look at how much the thickness, color, and hair length has improved in only 6 months.
Have you been happy with everything so far? Is it kind of like coming in the way that you had hoped?
Yeah, especially the last month my hair seems to be getting darker. People have asked me like, did you make your hair darker? I think that's also like the thickness makes it look darker, so it's definitely thicker. The other day I was looking at the original pictures that I took like the very first time I came here and had my consult, and there's huge bald patches. I didn't even realize how bad it was back then.
Very top.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot better.
Way better.
Let's turn it back here. This has done really well. I like your hairline a lot too. I think that it's very natural.
Yeah.
How many months are we at now?
6.
6 months, yeah.
So most people are underwhelmed at 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
that's cool. Like, that's exciting if it's gonna improve even further.
It takes a long time.
The area that I was most concerned about was that like middle patch, but now I feel like, you know, there's some parts that are a little thin there, but it's not nearly as noticeable as it was. Like I can be on camera under bright lights. It doesn't stand out as much.
Check this out.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So this is today?
Yeah.
And that's like my first one, right?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Or
Yeah, that's crazy, and it does look way darker. People keep telling me that. See that? I remember like you can't even tell now.
I mean, you're like a 15-year-old head of hair.
That is so crazy. I don't think people would look at me and think like, oh, that guy struggles with thinning hair. Like, unless you're like looking really close and you see the lighter patches, but like that looks good. Like,
And it's just
such a big
better.
difference. It still will. Huh?
Yeah.
I remember when you said that at 3 months, and I was like, no, I think they're kind of growing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like the last month, I was like, oh no, it's like really growing in now.
I'm excited for you. It's always possible, especially for like what you have left donor area. You could do another session if you need to, but hopefully you don't need to. The main thing is keeping up on the meds.
If I was gonna do another transplant, would you do the same amount of grafts, or do people tend to do like less grafts with?
It kind of just depends on where you're at and what you want to accomplish. You just do what you need to get the job tub basically.
I think when we talked about it last time, we thought that maybe we just kind of see how things are like after a year.
Well, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Thanks again. Let's chat again at like the year mark.
You guys did a really good job.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you're happy.
I'm completely blown away, and if it looks this good right now, I can't wait to see how it looks after a year. I feel like I've aged backwards and look a little younger as a result of this procedure. Subscribe to my channel and check back in another 6 months to see the final result of my 1-year checkup. Huge thanks to Utah Facial Plastics for doing such a phenomenal job. Be sure to subscribe to Utah Facial Plastics on YouTube for more fascinating videos, and show them some love on their social pages linked in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and see you in another 6 months.